Welcome back. This is a video just describing and explaining how the English 90, English 95 combination works. So what that means is that this is a multi-level English class. So two different levels of students working in the same classroom. And how that works is that the material is presented and taught at the 95 level, but with the exception of major projects, which are given at 2 levels. The information for writing, I mean, it builds, it gets more complex, but it's not that different per level. So that's how we can do this. A thesis statement is a thesis statement, whether you're an English 90 student or an English 102 student. So it doesn't all of a sudden switch and change and become something completely new just because you're at a different level. And because of that, that means that we can then offer multi-level English classes to help students get through those English requirements in a timely manner, but still get all the information that you need to be able to be a college level writer and do well in other college courses that require writing. So what and how this works. First off, just to know that if you're registered as an English 95 student, this really doesn't impact you at all. You'll just follow the English 95 guidelines and everything, and you're set to go. And English 95, just as a reminder, prepares you to go into either English 98 or 101. And English 98 101 is also a combination class just like this one. Now, students who are registered at English 90, those are the students that are going to have some options as we work through the course. The options are going to be for the major projects, which that's going to be a personal writing, it's going to be a reading chart, it's going to be a summary of an article, and then it's going to be an essay that's responding to a topic presented from an article. Those are the 4 main projects that we're going to do. And students, when they get to starting those, if you're an English 90 student and you get ready to start that first project, which you'll actually get introduced to next week, what it means is that you're going to get to decide if you want to try and work at the 90 level or the 95 level. And each of those major projects are going to have 2 sets of requirements and descriptions. So there'll be one that'll be labeled like English 90 requirements. And then there's another one that will say English 95. So any English 90 students who want to work at the 95 level will just need to make sure that they follow the 95 requirements and guidelines and grading. And then what happens is that students that choose that, English 90 students who successfully work at the 95 level, can actually earn 95 level credit for the class. What that means is that instead of it saying English 90 on transcripts, it would actually get changed to reflect English 95. That then would put you forward to be able to move on to either English 98 or English 101 at the end of the term. In order to do that, those major projects I mentioned, they all have to be at the 95 level using the 95 instructions, requirements, and rubrics. And what that means is that when I go to grade those projects, they have to be at a C or higher on all of the English 95 rubrics. Any that is not is automatically going to be regraded at the 90 level and take you out of running to be able to earn 95 level credit. So in order, again, to earn that 95 level credit, all the projects have to be at the 95 level. English 95 students cannot choose to work at the 90 level. They must work at the 95 level. There is no going backwards with this, only choosing to take a step forward. And then something just kind of note if you're that English 90 student and you're like, oh, do I try, do I not try? There's no penalty for trying to work at that higher level. I can always regrade that higher level requirements using the 90 level rubric and work. So it's not going to hurt you to try it. Sometimes students underestimate themselves and just don't have the confidence, but then they realize after doing the first couple projects, like, oh, you know what? Hey, actually, I kind of got this. I'm good. I can do 95 level work. And sometimes you might try it out and you're like, ooh, no, this is way too advanced for where I'm at. I really need to step back and do 90. And that is perfectly okay, and there is nothing wrong with that. We want students to work at their pace to get through the English sequence for success. So if your pace is to take the levels one at a time, that's great. If your pace is to skip a level here or there, that's great too. And this is how you can do that, okay? So again, just wanted to explain how this combination works. 98 and 101 is also set up into a similar combination pattern, which I'll explain how that works a little bit more later in the term, and it mentions a little bit about placement into those courses on the syllabus as well. But just as far as thinking ahead, this is where you're going to see those big differences between the 90 and 95 level students is literally on the major projects themselves. All the other projects, it's just the same requirements for both levels. Any questions about this, please let me know. I know it can be a bit confusing if you've never been exposed to that type of course before, and so just if you're ever unsure about where you stand, how it works, what you need to do, just send me a quick email or message through Canvas inbox, and I'm happy to give some more explanation about it. Other than that, like I said, works out well if you're that 90 student trying to work at the 95 level, and if you're that 95 student, it doesn't really have any impact on you other than just knowing that you might have that same opportunity to advance if you end up in a 98 101 type course. So any questions, let me know. Other than that, that's all I have for this video.